Now, the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, is at a crisis at a very crucial time. One, since the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, or the Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, retires on the 16th of June. And two, at a time when the country is heading into an electioneering period in August next year, roughly 15 months from now. So how did we get here? Let's take a look at what happened, the chronology of events of what happened until now, when we are looking at cases that the LSK seeks to have the issue sorted out outside the court. Now, according to the Constitution of Kenya, on Article 167, the tenure of the office of the Chief Justice and other judges, a judge shall retire from office on attaining the age of 70 years, but may elect to retire at any time after attaining the age of 65 years. The previous constitution, before the 2010 one was promulgated, allowed for the judges to retire at the age of 74, and that is when people like the DCJ Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi were in office. But the new constitution stipulated that judges should retire at the age of 70. Now, in September 2015, the Judicial Service Commission, which is their employer, issued a directive that judges over 70 years of age should not preside over cases. This is something that caused had a lot of reaction from judges. We saw a number of judges from the Supreme Court disagree with the Judicial Service Commission, while some supported it. Now, two judges at the Supreme Court are already at 70 and past it, and that is the Deputy Chief Justice Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi, who consequently went to court to bar the Judicial Service Commission from retiring them. And this is where the case started to what we are looking at now. The High Court ruled that the Deputy Chief Justice Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi should retire at the age of 70. What did they do? They appealed the case at the Court of Appeal. Now, heading to the Court of Appeal, the Judicial Service Commission went to court to try and block Deputy Chief Justice Kalpana Rawal from appealing the case at the Court of Appeal, a case that was consequently thrown out, and hence the Deputy Chief Justice was given a chance to appeal the case at the Court of Appeal that made its ruling in January. Justice Rawal and Tunoi moved to court to appeal, seeking to overturn the High Court's decision. Now, the Court of Appeal, we also saw the Judicial Service Commission try and block that appeal that did not go through. They made the ruling about some days ago that they upheld, rather, the decision by the High Court to retire Justice Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi at the age of 70 years. After this ruling, which was a few days ago, last week, Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi moved to the court, after the Court of Appeal's decision, moved to the Supreme Court, and Lady Justice Njoki Ndungu was the judge on duty and made an application that the case should be heard on the 24th of June. What is interesting about the 24th of June is that Chief Justice Willy Mutunga would have retired, leaving it at only 4 judges to hear the case. Now, there can't be an even number to rule on such a case, since Deputy Chief Justice Kalpana Rawal and Justice Philip Tunoi cannot be in the case, and as well as Justice Smokin Wanjala, who is a member of the Judicial Service Commission, and Chief Justice Willy Mutunga will also not be in. He would have retired on the 16th of June. Here is where the problem begins. So Chief Justice Willy Mutunga overturned the decision by Lady Justice Njoki Ndungu, applied his administrative rule and overturned the Lady Justice Njoki Ndungu's decision for the 24th of June and fast-tracked it to the 2nd of June, which is today, where we are. The court had a session in the morning, but they had been given a break, and they adjourned until 2:30 this afternoon. The Law Society of Kenya, who is the friend of court or in the case, are trying to have the case sorted out outside the court. So all the parties are now at the Chief Justice's chambers trying to reach a consensus and see how they can arbitrate and have a smooth transition from the Chief Justice to the next Chief Justice. The process is yet to start because of this case, and hence the Supreme Court right now is in such a crisis. Remember that Justice Philip Tunoi also has a case that a tribunal investigation is investigating bribery allegations against him, 200 million bribery allegations, which is said to have been given out by Nairobi County Governor Dr. Evans Kidero on an election petition. So these are some of the issues that the Supreme Court is unraveled in, and we are definitely trying to see if this is going to be sorted out in time for the process of the search for the next Chief Justice to begin. Right now, they're in a solution-finding mission in the chambers of the Chief Justice. They will be back in court at 2:30, and we will definitely be seeing how that will go. So our reporter, Murimi Mwange, has been following up the proceedings for us since morning at the Supreme Court. Let's now join him to get updates on what really happened in the morning. Thank you for joining us on News Desk, Murimi Mwange.